Hi guys! Oh my god, welcome back. Welcome me back. I've been gone for such a long time. Sorry, my hair is a mess. And I'm not even trying to deal with it today. I'm just glad to be back on, even though the circumstances are not really the best. I have been not posting lately because I had to go and get a real job. Yeah, so me doing these YouTube videos are just something that I do, something that I had started when I had a lot more time on my hands and was doing some work from home. And then things got a little crazy. I needed a little bit more money in the home, and so I have been spending my days painting full time in the afternoon, and then I get home and I'm just so wrecked, and things were just so muddied in my own life. How could I dare get on here and start talking about anybody else's, right? So I took a break that I did not mean to take due to circumstances out of my control. But today I am back. I'm hoping at this point to try to do at least one video a week. I know I started out with going like, yeah, I'm going to do like 4 videos a week. And y'all, that is hard. These YouTubers make it look so easy. But I guess when you start out with a specific foundation and a better plan than just jumping on YouTube and making a video, your channel can produce a profit quite quickly, and a lot of people can make a living off of their videos. I am not there yet. I think I use too much profanity, and I think I am too conservative for YouTube to give me a platform to actually make money. So when I do these, I really do these just because I have the time, because I really want to do them, and I really do hope that at some point they turn into something bigger than just me talking to myself for 20 minutes and hoping people watch, right? I don't mean to just linger with my personal issues. I know a lot of you, when you get on here, you just want people to get straight to the point so you can move on with your day. So, with all of that aside, just kind of letting you know what's been happening with me, let's get straight into today's topic. I feel like we should talk about the government shutdown, but I really don't want to talk about that today. I just feel like that's just something for another day, because even though what we're about to talk about isn't the most important thing on the planet to be discussing, it kind of is. And I just want to jump right into it now so that we can get started and you don't turn me off. R. Kelly, y'all. I know. I usually do political videos, and then sometimes I'll jump in and, throw a little bit of entertainment gossip in there and just try to, change things up a bit. After not being on for so long, I really do want to hit, the more political topics. But for now, we need to discuss R. Kelly. I have not seen all of the docuseries yet. I think I'm not even sure how it was released. If it was released all at once, if it was released, a couple days in a row, because I do not watch regular cable TV. I have a media box, and on my media box, I looked it up. I found it. I've watched a couple episodes. I'm not sure if the rest are able to watch just yet, if they've already been aired on Lifetime or not. But I think I have like 3 more episodes to watch. And so that's kind of where we're at with what I'm going to talk about today, up until about the 4th docuseries, which is as far as I've seen so far. Now, if anybody else has seen more, yay, they're all out. But as far as I know, I only know what I've seen. And y'all, how did we see this and totally not connect it to somebody labeled as a serious predator? I think before we can understand that, and I do know that this video is probably going to go over the 20 minutes, but this is important. R. Kelly seemed to just, how do you say, just his issues just kind of seemed to hit us all in the face, and then as quick as it hits us all in the face, it's like it's gone and everybody forgot about it and moved on with their lives. And then R. Kelly would make another album and nobody would remember his scandal, just what he does in music, and then it would just kind of further bury his scandalous lifestyle. My late husband used to say, you don't want to stand out doing something wrong? Act like what you're doing is perfectly okay. Live your life out in the open as if you're doing nothing wrong and nobody will question you. And I was with my late husband altogether almost 11 years. And through those 11 years, I have seen plenty of examples of just living out loud produces absolutely no result because nobody questioned something so in your face. Like, if it's that in your face, it must be okay, right? So I feel like that's what R. Kelly did. He really put himself in a position to keep his scandals separate from his professional life. And we all know in today's world, now, I mean, I'm not sure how bad it was before I entered the scene and before the internet and all of those things, but it just seems to me that in this day and age, R. Kelly should not have a career, like, at all. Roseanne Barr couldn't even have a joke on Twitter. She's a comedian. She's a very well-known comedian. She has been known for her sass and her crass. So when she said what she did and people took it the way that they did, I feel like in that scenario, she should have been left alone, not lost her job, and people could just kind of form their own opinion on the joke, and through public perception, decide if that was a bad joke and maybe we shouldn't tell that one again. Because that's usually how it goes with comedians. You tell a bad joke, it falls flat, you don't tell the joke again. You don't lose your job because you told a bad joke. But that's the world we're living in. Roseanne Barr completely fired for a tweet. People banned from Twitter all day long just for different political beliefs. And then you have people complaining and yelling and screaming about how "Baby, It's Cold Outside" promotes rape culture. That's the world that has been created. That is where we are right now. Now, whether you agree or disagree, at certain points, whether you agree or disagree with things, doesn't even matter. The avalanche has fallen off the top of the mountain. It is uncontrollably flying down the mountain, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's kind of where we're at with the environment. So, because this environment has already been created, we have to deal with it. We have to acknowledge it, and we have to, like, try to fix it. Seriously. When "Baby, It's Cold Outside" generates more of a protest from people, but they're still rocking to R. Kelly. Come on now. Come on now. That's pretty hypocritical. And it doesn't even matter that he was found not guilty of so many charges, because clearly he was in a video that everybody saw. And no matter how many times he or that little girl said nothing happened and that wasn't them in the video, I'm not gonna lie, I did not see the video. Do I want to see the video? I don't know if I really want to see it, or if I just want to confirm what I already know to be true, and that's plenty of people before me have seen the video and swear it is R. Kelly. The little girl's auntie on that documentary, I feel so sick and sorry for her to think that you can tell she harbors so much blame for introducing that man to her family. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her in the slightest, because R. Kelly is the kind of guy that he seriously, I mean, you can just tell. I mean, just watching this docuseries, just going back and listening to his music, knowing what we know, he's a sick man. But people like that know how to mask their sickness for certain people. And I feel like that's what happened with the auntie. And excuse me for not remembering names, but all of this is really kind of new information for me, and I haven't really retained a whole lot of it via memory. But I just know what I saw, and I know the emotion that I saw. And it just hurt my heart to think that this poor woman harbors such guilt for what happened to her niece, and then the whole family being destroyed afterwards because, A, I'm sure she doesn't want to be known for that, and B, it's pretty clear that R. Kelly and his team paid those people off. They paid that little girl off, they paid the family off, and he got off more than once, and in many different ways. And here we are, years and years and years later, and it's all starting to come to the surface again. Why? The Me Too movement, I'm sure, had a lot to do with that. And even though the Me Too movement has been hijacked by political retards, I do believe that that movement did come from a good place. And if it brought things like this out for people to talk about and recognize and acknowledge, that's a good thing. But back to this whole mess with R. Kelly. Why does he have a job? Like, seriously, why did we, as I have to say, even the little that I knew about the situation over the years, I still knew enough. And I never really attached it to his career. I never stopped listening to his music. I absolutely loved the In the Closet series. I mean, as ridiculous as it was genius. And now that I see the timing of a lot of the things that he did, it was really to mask the person he really was, but he was kind of hiding in plain sight, just kind of like one of the videos, one of the series was called Hiding in Plain Sight. And so for the auntie to introduce her family, her young niece to R. Kelly, I don't blame her for that. I really don't. I don't think that she should have seen the signs. I don't think she should have known better. I don't think she should harbor any blame at all. And I'll tell you why. Because people like that know how to mask their intentions based on who they're dealing with. And from everything that I saw, she kind of laid it out on the table first and foremost that she was not one to be controlled. She was not going to be told what to do in a private, personal setting, but as a boss, and respecting him as a boss and as someone in charge and kind of keeping things rolling professionally, she saw all of those characteristics as a good thing. Not controlling in the sense that he doesn't let people do what they want, but controlling in the sense that he's a businessman, he's an entertainer, he knows what he wants, he knows how he wants things to be, and he's very disciplined and strict in how he lives his professional life. And I feel like those were the qualities that he wanted her to see. Those were the qualities she saw. She trusted him, and therefore trusted his influence to another family member. I think if she had seen any of the things that would have given her any insight as to what would have come next, she would have never brought her niece anywhere near that man, anywhere near the studio, and she herself probably would have stopped working with Kelly a long time before all of these things happened. But hindsight is always 20/20, right? Just because you know now, it doesn't change what you didn't know then, and it's not her fault. I feel really, really horrible for that woman. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, what about that little girl? I feel bad for her too. I really, really do. But what can you do when that kind of influence takes precedence to the right thing? Meaning being paid off to lie so that he doesn't have to face any consequences. And that's where I fall short of feeling sorry for her or her parents in this situation, because it's embarrassing, it's assault, it's statutory rape, but it still needs to be addressed. I mean, as embarrassing as it might be for her, she needs to learn she was programmed, she was controlled, and she was making decisions not in her own right sense of mind, but based on the situation that Kelly put her in. And I think if they would have addressed it that way and really faced it head on versus backtracking, taking money, I'm sorry, I just don't think that that was the right thing to do. No matter anybody's mental state, because I don't see anybody's mental state getting any better by hiding it and acting like it didn't happen. And now it's all over the place for everybody to see and revisit again, and nobody even wants to admit that it was them or that it even happened. And when you have actual video proof of someone's horrible, horrible actions, whether a court finds them guilty or not, if we see the crime, if we can perceive the crime and see that that is a young child and see that that is R. Kelly, it should not take a jury of our peers to find him guilty before there's any backlash for his bad behavior. There's video. It's not his brother. It's not his double. It's him. People have seen this. They know it's him. But he still has a career. And why does he still have a career? Because people in this industry only care about one thing: profit, dollars, status, keeping things on the up and up and admitting to things like this, or showcasing that you didn't know you had a pedophile working for you this whole time, doesn't really play out well for the companies, right? Well, if you didn't know, you didn't know. And when you find out and you do something about it, great. That's wonderful. But when you find out about it and you do all that you can to keep people from knowing the truth, help this person get away with what they're doing, you are just as disgusting. You are just as nasty. You are just as liable for what happens to these people's lives. And R. Kelly continuing to make his music while his scandals were running is what kept him safe. Living out loud as if he did nothing wrong. And people latch on to that. Oh, well, if he can be out and loud and proud about it, clearly he must not have been doing something wrong. It must just be everybody else, you know? Maybe that little girl lied about her age. Come on. We can say that once or twice, okay? Over and over and over. There's a theme here. Not only is he a control freak, but he's a pedophile. And yet, he still has a fucking career. How is that possible? How is that possible that this man goes unmoved, unshaken, doing the most vile, awful things to the girls in his own community, his own people? I'm not saying it would have been right, better, or more digestible if it were girls of other races. I'm just saying, especially in the Black community, where we have this connection, and people want to believe you, and they want to stick by you, and they want to believe that you're so good and so honest because you're the same color. Come on. He was abusing his own people, okay? That makes it even worse, that he is taking advantage of a community of people, a culture of people who want to stick by you, who want to stand up for you, and don't want to see you railroaded just because of your color, to turn around and abuse and assault and torture and rape the very women of your culture. And yet people are sticking up for him. But nobody wanted to stick up for Roseanne Barr when she said something that could be considered racist, but could be read and perceived in many other different ways. Watching R. Kelly pee on a 13-year-old in a video can only be perceived as one way. So why does this man still have a career? Why does this man constantly get away with his treatment of young girls? I didn't really know how deep it ran until I started watching this, and it just kind of trickles in all at once. When it happens over the years, excuse me, I'm about to have a coughing fit. Oh, excuse me. But you have this man who over the years, same pattern of behavior over and over and over. And the sicker he gets, the more people he has that back him. I don't understand this mentality. I don't understand how he got away with that. And then the whole marriage to Aaliyah, I mean, that in and of itself really should have been something that woke us all up. But pop culture, Hollywood lifestyles, and all of these things that these people get away with on a constant basis, it numbed us to the things that happen in Hollywood. And so, because it's R. Kelly and because it's Aaliyah, and they toured together and he managed her, I guess, or whatever, oh, that's just par for the course. That was just going to happen anyway. And even though they denied it adamantly throughout, when it came out that that was happening, everybody just chalked it up as Hollywood. It's just Hollywood. But you can only say that so many times too. And when you see a pattern of behavior, no matter what it is, good, bad, and different, it's still a pattern of behavior that teaches us something about that person. And at this point, even without seeing the rest of the docuseries and only just going by what I know and what I've seen, R. Kelly is a predator. And that's the worst kind of pedophile. In case y'all didn't know, there's a difference. And unfortunately, in our criminal system, that whole thing is still just as muddied. And I believe it stays that way because of the kind of people who are charged with these kind of crimes. R. Kelly being one of them. And if you have the money, if you have the clout, and you have the celebrity status, basically, a lot of us have kind of come to just accept that Hollywood does what Hollywood does, and they just get away with it. We can't let this keep happening, guys. When people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. R. Kelly has shown us who he is. And he did it in such a way that nobody believed it. They thought it was just a personality for entertainment. This highly sexualized man in his music that was his niche. But when his troubles started to catch up to him and people were starting to realize that there was this other side of him, he believes he can fly. And look what happened. Everybody forgot. Everybody was like, oh, it's just R. Kelly. It's just Hollywood. Half of this stuff's probably not even true. Half of this is probably stunts to get more publicity. Like, you don't even know where the line is, where real and fake meet. And what's what? It's all muddied. Nobody's sure. And that's why, from what I understand, from what I've read, a lot of people did not want to be a part of this docuseries. Not because they support R. Kelly, not because they believe he's innocent, but because the situation is so dirty, so muddied, it reaches more people than just him. The people around him that accepted that behavior and helped him and enabled him in that behavior. It's scary that we've allowed people of this status to get away with things for so long because we like how they look, we like how they sound, we like what they say, we believe that they're good people. Believe people when they show you who you are. I mean, that's the biggest lesson that I think anybody can take out of this situation, where you can't do anything about everything that's already happened. The past is done. It's unchangeable. The future is waiting to be molded into whatever we want to make it. And if we want to make Hollywood accountable for what they're producing, we as the consumer have to be the ones to step forward and make that claim that we're not going to accept this. I don't mean tearing down every freaking radio station that plays Baby It's Cold Outside. I'm not saying get that ridiculous with stuff, but come on. We have wrecked people's lives, their futures, their careers over less. And this man is still untouched. Where are all these social justice warriors now? Where are all these #MeToo people? And I mean, I've seen the founder of the Me Too movement on the docuseries talking about things, but what is the Me Too movement doing? What is Black Lives Matter doing? What are any of these organizations that claim that they're out there to fix and change and help and bring awareness to these things? Where are they when it comes to the R. Kellys of the world, where their money and their talent outweighs their bullshit? A lot of them get away with it on a smaller scale. I mean, I'm not saying everybody in Hollywood's, an R. Kelly, but there's different levels of manipulation. There's different levels of being a bad person, but then excusing it because you're talented. I think we really need to stop doing that, guys. And for a very important reason, obviously the most obvious reason is because it's better for people. It's better for our futures to react that way and call to the carpet these kind of people. But it also gives people who aren't in the industry, who do have an amazing talent, a chance to slide in and take these other people's places. Come on. We have like 80 gazillion talent shows on TV every season where we get to watch people juggle, do magic, sing, do all of these things to bring attention to their talent. We're not lacking in the talent department, guys. We don't have to keep accepting the same BS over and over and over from these people because we like what they do. I'm pretty sure if you went to your local bar who has a local band, you would be like amazed at their talent and wonder why nobody else knows about them. Maybe a lot of people don't know about these people because they're not ass kissers and they're not willing to sell their soul to the devil to get a little bit of popularity. There's endless talent out there that we don't need to keep shoving the R. Kellys of the world and their bad behavior under the carpet because we might not get a good song next season out of them. I'd much rather be introduced to a new artist and their talent than to ever keep someone around who's awful just because I like what they do. And I think that's kind of where the fans got caught up in all of this and not really knowing what to do or what to think about R. Kelly. Because you have, like I said, muddied line, blurred lines, different rules for Hollywood, 80 gazillion stories that you have to go through just to get the truth. But in this case, the truth has been staring all of us in the face for a very, very long time. And if anything comes out of this docuseries, I hope it's awareness. And I hope every single radio station on the planet stops playing his music. Now, I know I'm probably hitting a very interesting nerve on some people when I say that, because a lot of people don't want to blame the music. They don't want to get rid of the music. It's like, well, I like this song. This person made a song that's been a part of my life. It's been my anthem. I have a gazillion wonderful memories attached to it. I'm a music connoisseur. How can I turn my back on the music because of the man? And I get that. I totally get that. And your personal collection that you bought already, you want to still listen to, go for it. Listen to all the R. Kelly you want. But I don't think it should be publicly played on the radio stations. Because, sorry, this is the culture that we have kind of evolved into with all the SJWs and the complaining about everything. I mean, I don't agree with that at all, because when things like this happen, they don't get the attention they deserve, because people are still wore out over the last crap that somebody was complaining about that was absurd, like cultural appropriation. Absurd. We need to start focusing on the right things again. And we need to not only hold our politicians accountable for their influence on the world, but we definitely need to make Hollywood accountable for their influence on the world. And I just believe that if somebody can lose their career over a tweet, then R. Kelly definitely needs to lose his career over being a predator pedophile. And that's kind of how I feel about that whole situation right now. Like I said, I still have a couple more episodes to watch. I'm sure it's not going to get any better. I feel for his wife. I feel for his kids. I feel for anybody who ever had been put in that position with him and didn't know what to do and just kind of went with it. But most of all, I really truly feel for the fans. I really do, because you're locked in this place where you don't know what to do. But like I said, accept people for who they show you they are. You don't have to like the man. You can continue to like the music. But I personally wouldn't give any more money to him. And not that I ever gave him any money. I never bought any of his albums, CDs, tapes, whatever. But from this point moving forward, I think people just need to leave R. Kelly in the dust and just look for that next big talent who can be the next big thing for R&B and for the music industry. Like I said, there's too many people out there with too many talents who just don't know the right people. Okay? We need to start going out into the country and really looking and digging deep for good people, good hearts, good intentions, and great talent. And let them